So, hey guys, what do you guys want to talk about? I had to steal that from 20 minutes. So, WWE 2023 was an amazing year, in my opinion. I went to three different WWE shows. I went to Raw in March, and then I went to NXT Battleground, which was so epic. Then I went to WWE Live on the 27th of December. It was very fun, and I wanted to put this together to show how much I loved this year of wrestling, aka WWE. I really should be watching a little bit more of AW, and I really wanted to, but like I just it was like one or the other, and I'm a big WWE fan. I love WWE. I've loved it since 2016. I gotta stick with it. That's what I gotta say. I gotta stick with it. So yeah, now we are gonna be ranking tons of things. Ranking of 2023 of WWE. Now, my favorite matches from each pay per view of 2023. With Royal Rumble, I loved the men's Royal Rumble matchup. It was iconic. It set up tons of feuds for WrestleMania 39, and it was amazing. But Kevin and Kevin and Roman, if it was just as a storyline, I would have said that immediately. It's amazing because Kevin and Roman had an amazing matchup, but I it was the finish that made it so amazing. Sammy betraying on Roman was so epic, and I loved it. I loved it. It was amazing. Now for Elimination Chamber, I gotta go with Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. It was such an iconic feud, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved the feud so much. It was it was long term story writing, which is one of the best things that Triple H that Hunter has been doing. Yeah, Hunter. I'm just gonna call him Hunter. That Hunter has been doing. It's one of the best things that he's been doing in the past year that he's run WWE, and I love it. Now for NXT Stand and Deliver, I got weird from the North American 5-man title match. It was an amazing matchup. It showed exactly how Wesley was, and Wesley is amazing. And I hope he's doing well with his injury. And we'll talk about Wesley in a bit. In a bit, we'll talk about Wesley near the end of the video. But yeah, then for WrestleMania Night One, WrestleMania Night One, I gotta go with Sammy and KO versus the Usos. It was such an amazing thing, and being there when Jay betrayed, when Jay was like trying to protect, was basically trying to protect Sammy, and then he just super kicks him. I was there. The crowd reaction was amazing, and that's what made this rivalry so great for me because I was there in the build up, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Now for WrestleMania Night Two, I gotta go with Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus in the triple threat. It was such an iconic matchup, and it showed the Intercontinental Championship being an iconic championship. Gunther has been holding that title for so long, and I'm so excited because he deserves it. He's deserved this run. It Hunter has been putting the Intercontinental Championship and United States Championship up there for me. It's amazing and amazing. It will always be. Now, now we're going over to Backlash. I didn't watch this live. I didn't watch this live. What I mean by that, I didn't watch it when it was like on Peacock. I rewatched it, stuff like that. That's why this video was kind of delayed because I still need to catch up. But I gotta go with Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in the Puerto Rico street fight. It was a really great match, and I love the surprises. And Bad Bunny really showed that he's not just a single. He knows how to get the crowd popping, and he shows off exactly what he is. He's one of the best guest stars that we've seen in a while, and I love it. I love it. Bad Bunny was amazing, and Damian Priest and him because during Bad Bunny's first matchup, it was Damian Priest and him versus The Miz and John Morrison, and then so that was a pretty good callback to it, and I loved it. The Judgment Day is such an iconic faction, and I loved it just for that reason. Now we've got Night of Champions, Sami Zayn and KO versus Roman and Solo. It was an iconic matchup, not an iconic matchup. But it was such a great matchup, and Jimmy, Trey, and Roman was such a cool idea, and I loved it. Now, the next day after that, I was in Lowell, Mass, watching Ilja Dragunov versus Djax. Djax and him showed off a great chemistry with the last man standing matchup. Now, all the other matches were great. I loved them. I loved them. The Wesley match was great. Seeing him in person was like, oh my gosh, he's so cool. And I just loved him seeing him in person. But Aljo Dragunov and Ajax had an iconic matchup. It was such a great, spectacular moment because just seeing them beat the dog shit out of each other was so cool. It was so cool. Now for Money in the Bank, I'll go off the Bloodline Civil War. Bloodline has been one of my favorite things this whole year. It's been one of my favorite things this whole year, and I loved it. I loved it. It's been building up for a while, and I loved how they did it. And seeing Jay finally pin Roman, it was so amazing. It was amazing. Now going over to SummerSlam. I gotta go with I gotta go with Seth and Finn Balor. It was a great matchup. I love Jay and Roman. It was a really good matchup, but it was just like you knew who was gonna win. They didn't put up that much of an odd as like Cody or Sammy. You wanted him, I still wanted him to win. Believe me, I still wanted him. But Finn and Seth were amazing, and I feel like Finn should have won at that moment. But let's see what Hunter's doing. Let's see what he's up to. But yeah, now over to Payback. I have two different ones for Payback because they were two iconic matchups. You got the street fight with Damien Finn versus KO and Sami for the tag team titles, and that was an amazing matchup. I loved it to be honest. I loved it very much because it was just like a fun experience. To be honest, it was a fun experience. Now the second one is our starter of the show, Trish and Becky versus Becky. No, Trish versus Becky in a steel cage matchup. That was an amazing matchup. I loved it. I loved that matchup. I loved what they did with Trish to bring her back, and Becky showed exactly why she's the son of a gun. I'm just gonna say. She showed exactly why she was the son of a gun, and it was amazing. Now over to Fastlane. Pew! Okay, Seth Rollins versus Nakamura in the last main stage matchup. I still wanted Nakamura to win. Want him to win, but after seeing Seth in person, it was so great seeing him, and I just kind of sat there like, this is this is amazing. It's an amazing matchup. It was so at the live show. It was actually pretty funny. It was Nakamura versus Drew versus Seth, the World Heavyweight Championship. It was such a cool matchup. But I loved it, and I loved the match at Fastlane. It showed exactly its odds, and Super Rollins is still something I still hated on at that moment. But as soon as I resaw him, I'm like, he's talented. He is a talented person. Tyler Black is a talented individual. He is so cool. Um, just seeing that is just so cool. It was just. But the matchup, on the other hand, it was a back and forth battle, and the one thing they did overplay was back injury. If he had that bad of back injury, he wouldn't be able to stand up. He wouldn't even be able to do that match. But they did it in a great way, and I loved it. Now for Crown Jewel. Huh. Who is that Crown Jewel? Who's our winner? Los Angeles Knight versus Roman Reigns. That was an amazing matchup. You saw how scared Roman was of LA Knight, aka Los Angeles. Los Angeles Knight. Yeah. You saw how scared he was of it, and it just was amazing. It was amazing to just see that, and I loved it. I loved that matchup. It was a very fun, enjoyable matchup. It was back and forth, and I was sitting there like, come on, LA Knight, win. You actually thought LA Knight could win, and it would have been amazing. It would have been amazing. Yeah. Now going over to Survivor Series. Survivor Series was an amazing show, and it was at Chicago. So you definitely thought, is CM Punk coming back? And my answer is yes, he did. That was amazing. But let's just talk about the matchup. Okay, let's talk about this matchup. The match would be the War Games matchup, the men's War Games matchup. It was so great because of know if Randy would have came back or not. You said that. Is he gonna come back or not? And yes, he did. That son of a bitch came back. So awesome. It was so awesome to see that. It was so awesome to see that happen. It was great. I loved it. I loved that, and I remember it was like around midnight. It was around midnight. I fucking yelled. I yelled at the top of my voice, screaming, so excited, and that was my same reaction with CM Punk. I may have not been watching WWE when he was around, but playing WWE 2K15 made me love him. I played it. That was the first ever WWE game that I did pick up with that game, and it made me love wrestling. It was actually the reason why I got into wrestling. So seeing that was amazing. It was amazing to just see that. I loved it. I loved CM Punk. Seeing him come back was amazing, and that was even part of the match. Seeing JD McDonough do it off the steel, off the top of this, off the top of the cage was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome to see that happen. He sold like crazy, and I just loved his entrance, and I loved Randy's entrance. It was so cool because Rhea came in trying to cash in. Are you sure you want me to cash in right now? Are you sure you're not a robot? That whole bullshit. Which I loved how the referees are with um with Damian Priest when he tries to cash in. It's pretty cool. Um, but then but then was I gonna? Oh yeah, yeah. Then so then seeing Randy come back, I have voices in my head. It was amazing to see that happen. It was truly awesome. It was truly awesome to see that happen, and I loved it. I loved every single moment of that. Every single moment of that, I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, I, he's so amazing. Randy is so amazing. He is awesome. And when CM Punk came back, did I cry? Yes, I did. I cried. I cried. To be honest, I did cry. I did cry very much so, but it was just such an awesome match. It was an awesome match, and it showed how everyone was great. Everyone was great in their own way. Now let's go over to something I like to call World Heavyweight Championship. The World Heavyweight Championship tournament was a seven. It had seven. It was split into seven different matches. The winners of there were two triple threat matches on the days. The winners of those two triple threat matches faced the winner of faced each other on the main event, and it goes for the other one too. Then the winners of Raw's Raw's tournament, and then the winner of SmackDown's tournament face each other at Night of Champions. So, and you already know who faced who, but let's talk about this. Steph versus Damien versus Nakamura is at number 7. It if they just had a couple more minutes, or maybe if there weren't so much commercial breaks, maybe I could. But it was just I just gotta say it's get a 1.5 out of 5. It was an okay matchup. It didn't show their true. It didn't show how true they are and how great they could have been. I would have loved to see some more. To actually think like, oh my gosh, is Seth gonna actually win this or not? I would have loved that maybe. Or is Nakamura or is Damien gonna win this? It was such a cool idea. Then at number 6 we got Cody versus Finn versus The Miz. Now I even thought when watching it, even though I rewatched it, even though I'm like they people really thought that Cody was gonna win. And I thought he was gonna win too, even though I knew Finn was gonna win. I thought that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, they really did this just so Cody could have a title. But they didn't, which I loved. Because that's what's gonna make Cody dethrone in Roman at WrestleMania 40 so iconic. And yes, he's gonna most likely win. So yeah, now now I would give that a 2 out of 5 because you saw how true they were with each other. You saw that, and I just loved it. I loved seeing that. Now at number 5, it was Finn versus Seth. Finn versus Seth was such an iconic, and I not an iconic match, but it's such an iconic rivalry. And seeing Finn do the barricade slam to Rollins, that was awesome to see that. Now at number 4, gotta go with Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus versus Austin Theory. Now I just loved all three of them in this matchup. I love Bobby Lashley. I love Bobby Lashley. He deserves a title. He deserves a title. He deserves a title shot, and he deserves another title run because he does. Now at number 3, I got Rey Mysterio versus Edge versus AJ Styles because I actually watched this on the TV. I was watching it live. So it kind of hit a special spot for me a little bit, and it was such a cool matchup to see Edge AJ, and Ray, three of the greatest names in this company. No, in wrestling, three of the greatest names in wrestling. To see them all face each other. Now, number two, I gotta go with Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles. Bobby Lashley with a head because he was bleeding through his head. It was such an iconic. No, I'm just gonna say iconic so many times. No, but a cool idea. It was such a cool idea to see that, and I loved it because you get submission after you get like the Holt lock, which is so cool. And the reason why I love the Holt lock is because it was originally the Master's lock, but the person who broke the Master lock was, and Chris Masters even mentioned this in an interview, was Bobby Lashley. So it kind of makes sense why he adapted the Holt lock. I'm sorry for talking about Bobby Lashley way too much. But then at number one, you gotta go with Seth versus AJ. It had no commercial break, so it felt great. And Seth winning was great at that time. I gotta see because long term story writing is what Triple H does all the time. So I gotta see what he does with this, and I'm gonna love it. Okay, now best of the year. It's just a short little category. I didn't read it. Yeah, action of the year, I got with Judgment Day for my opinion. Then my favorite women's or the breakout women's star of the year, I gotta go with Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton was amazing. She's still amazing. She's still amazing. She deserves that main roster push maybe after WrestleMania. That would be great to see. Then for breakout men's star, even though he already broke out technically, LA Knight. I feel like this year was. I feel like 2023 was LA Knight's year, and I loved it. And it was just so cool to see that. So good to see that. Now, who should dethrone each champion? This is starting to be a long video a little bit, but you got for the undisputed Universal Champion. You gotta go with Cody Rhodes. I mean, he has to be. He has to finish that story at WrestleMania 40. He's gonna finish that story, and I don't care if you say, but Rock versus Roman. If it was a couple years ago, yeah, it would have been awesome. But now you don't need the title card to be in that. You don't need the title to be that. You could technically, but it's just hard to. It's hard. It's hard. It's just hard to see Cody not win that at WrestleMania 40. Now, for the Intercontinental Championship, I gotta go with Chad Gable or Sheamus. Sheamus deserves to become a Sling champion, but also Chad Gable, he deserves that push. He needs that push, and he is at that moment where he can take that push and run with it. He can take the title and just basically run with it, make an amazing title run. It would be amazing. Now, for the World Heavyweight Championship, it's going. to I would love for anybody to win it, basically. But these are the two that I would very love to see dethrone. CM Punk at WrestleMania 40. Most of this is going to be probably at WrestleMania 40. Also, CM Punk deserves that the title for a little bit. Or Finn, if they want to run that back. If they want to run back Finn versus Seth, I'll be happy for it and make him win that title. He tried to win at SummerSlam, but that's a different thing. Now for the unified tag team championship, DIY. DIY. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa would be amazing to see them get that title and just it would have been amazing to see that. So I gotta say them. I gotta say them. Now for the United States Championship. The United States Championship. Kevin Owens will face Logan Paul at Royal Rumble. But in my opinion, I really want to see this because I know this person's probably not going to win after Royal Rumble. They're not going to win in that fatal four way. But the person I want to dethrone Logan Paul is Los Angeles Knight. I want to see him dethrone him. I want to see him get that United States Championship. Now, I did have a couple of theories, maybe maybe The Rock does show up at the Royal Rumble and does basically Rock bottoms LA Knight or something like that. Then you can build that up for WrestleMania 4. That would have been awesome because seeing LA Knight and The Rock face each other would be amazing. But we gotta see where that goes. Now for the women's tag team championships. Uh, hmm. This was pretty hard to say because I really love Kairi Sane. I really love Kairi Sane and Asuka. They are an amazing tag team. Either them or Unholy Union. I would love to see Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. How do you pronounce it? That's how I would do it. Now for the Women's World Championship, with Rhea Ripley holding such a iconic. She holding this title was amazing. But I gotta say, Liv Morgan does deserve that push. Please say she'll be. Please say she won't be. Please say she won't be too. Please say she won't be too busy hanging out with RVD and Matt Riddle. Smoking some shit. I really just want to say that joke. Oh, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch could really do good with this. A whole run as NXT Women's Championship, as NXT Women's Champion was pretty good, and it showed that she could do that. Now we are going over to NXT for the wait women's under the women's world for the women's undisputed championship. I gotta go with Bailey. Bailey deserves that push. I feel like she has enough in her tank because people are saying, oh, she's not good enough. Blah blah blah. She could be another iconic. She can make another iconic run with that title. Now for the NXT Women's Championship. I want to see out of these three women, I want to see them either time. Either Cora Jade or Gigi Gigi Darlian or JC Jane. I would love to see them three win the title. Now for the United States Men's World Championship, Wesley or Carmelo Hayes should get it back. Wesley deserves that big push. Carmelo Hayes, he can go to the main roster and be perfect with it. He doesn't need another title drop, but if he did, it would be amazing. But Wesley, when he gets back from injury, I want to see him win that title. So it may be Carmelo Hayes who should win that title. Now for the NXT North American Championship, I'm not a big fan. I gotta say, it's pretty hard to say that, but maybe Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy really deserves that title, and I feel like he should really do it. He's an amazing wrestler. I saw him; he was an amazing wrestler, and he deserves that. Or either D-Jax, either one of them should get that title. Now, the video is over, I guess so. But I will be trying my best to try to stay up to schedule, and I have a couple new videos planned out for the whole WrestleMania season. It would be pretty cool of an idea, and I hope I see you guys back soon, and I hope I am back soon. Remember, wear your seatbelts, and that's where the cookie crumbles. Bye, y'all.